I think sometimes I will say yes, that we may have that brief dynamic, but because of my upbringing, I try to make sure I course correct very quickly because I've always been a leader. I've always led. I've always led in big establishment. While my
Mhm.
husband is an engineer, he works behind the scene. He's not like the okay, do this, do that kind of a person. He's more quiet in the background. But the thing about my what I'm grateful for is he's comfortable in his space. But
Yeah.
I have to be vigilant in the way I approach him. That's why I say it's not your employee. Because sometimes I have to catch myself not speaking to him as if I'm giving him orders because I've always been a leader in my space.
Yes.
So that dynamic and nuances, I have to catch myself because I wasn't raised that way. My husband is my husband; he's the head of the household, and I
Hmm.
should tone my voice not like you tone your voice to be lost, but to
Hmm.
respect and
Yes.
in honor to your husband. That's the challenge that
Mm.
I've had because being a leader for such a long time and him just being working in the background as an engineer, as a software
Hmm.
engineer and leader, but not outside like me. So that's kind of unique.
You just brought up a very interesting point, right? That sometimes the dynamics between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, girlfriend and boyfriend, or just like in that romantic dynamic, one person sometimes may have a natural ability to be a leader. So the way that they come across, right, may be different from someone who is more subdued in that way. And sometimes it may not be because I'm speaking for myself too. I've always been a leader also. And so I've been in situations where people will, even my sisters, oh, you were bossy. And I was like, no, I wasn't. To me, I wasn't bossy. I was just trying to get things done
Right.
because things needed to be done. And I just were doing things. Um, I have definitely, me personally, in my relationships, I've only had three boyfriends and like long term, I've been in long term relationships. And I would say my first boyfriend, we were young, we got together at like 18, 19, we were together for like 5 years. And I did feel that insecurity. And he would try to make me jealous and do certain things. So
Mhm.
I get that men can have that, I think people can just have that, right? Try to throw you off your square because they're feeling insecure.
Mhm.
Um, with my last relationship with my children's father, I have experienced times where, although he's been very supportive on some things,
Mhm.
other jealousy things have come up
Mhm.
to where I know what it is when I see it, when I can recognize it, right? And it had to be questioned like, why did you say that? Or why did you do that? And a lot of times when there is an issue like that with dynamic, and Alicia, maybe you can help me on this. Does it go back to what that person is actually feeling about themselves and they're projecting it onto you? So we get into this thing with, oh, successful women and broke black men, and we don't want to get into that conversation, but that's kind of like the sound bites out there right now. But I think that on a larger scale, it just goes back to what an individual feels about themselves. What do you think about that, Alicia?
Yeah, I mean, in my practice, I do see a lot of black couples, and a lot of the black women are extremely supportive of their partners. They
Mhm.
want their partners to succeed. They'll give them money to make sure their business thrives.